Hello everyone. We will be starting in 1 minute. I just talked a little bit, but turns out my mic was off. Sorry about that. So we'll be starting in 1 minute. If you are watching the replay, you can skip ahead 1 minute, and that's when we will start. Just have to make sure that everything is good. So if you are live with me right now, can you please type something in the chat just to make sure that I am not going crazy and you can in fact hear me. How about now, guys? Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Alright, sorry about that. Here we go again. Welcome to Altcoin Mentors. My name is Charlie, and if you've not been here before, it is my goal to help you achieve all of your goals through crypto trading and investing. And if you have not followed us before, the best place to keep track of us is in our Telegram channel. You'll find that at t.me/altcoinmentors. You'll see that we post lots of charts and are in here pretty frequently. We are now 405 members strong, so thank you to all of you who are in our channel and supporting us. And secondly, everything that I am talking about today has been sent out to all of our email subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, you can get that at altcoinmentors.com/strategy, and it will be sent to you right away. And I've just realized that I am not on screen share. That is okay. I will change that right now. Yep, this is what the latest email looks like. Again, you can go to altcoinmentors.com/strategy, and it will be sent to you as soon as it's sent to everyone else. So Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern time. All right, so the last week has been very uneventful. So we had, just a recap, I guess. Let me go to a smaller time frame. Here we go. We had the bleeding that stopped about 2 weeks ago over here. We had a very, very aggressive spike up and then slowly drifted down more, almost breaking that low, but holding. and then another very large spike up, and then from then on we've just been slowly drifting up, pretty range bound, but yes, going up. And now the big question is, will it be able to take out this major resistance here at 70.30? And maybe from the title you can predict that my answer is that I do not think that it will be able to take out that resistance and that we are headed back down. But before I get into more detail about that, let me show you the long-term chart. This is something I do every single week, where it is sometimes easy to be only looking at the 1 hour chart or the 4 hour chart and never really stepping back to look at the larger picture. And I think that is definitely a mistake, because say if you wanted to sell, probably not the best time to do so unless you are super nimble and are going to be confident that you're going to be able to catch the bottom if you think it's going down. Because there is right now lots more upside that I see than there is downside. And the critical number that has to hold in this correction is going to be 3,100. Sorry, really loud motorcycle just passed our apartment. 3,100, as long as 3,100 holds, then I would expect to see 48,000 to 82,000 as the next target price for Bitcoin on the upside. And people are really pressing me for a time frame on that, so I'm going to say by the end of next year. If it hasn't happened by then. But again, I don't have a very large edge on timing. And I would say it is, once an uptrend gets going, it happens really, really quickly. I think in the past year, the majority of gains happened in a period of just about 3 weeks. So that's something to keep in mind too. We might just be slowly drifting for a very long time and then just get an explosion. And that's kind of what we've been seeing now. But as I've said before, the ideal end of the correction is at the 61.8% retrace, which is at 4,800. So there's still a little bit more to go, as would be expected. And as far as complexity of the correction so far, it hasn't been too bad. There have been a few things that have thrown us for a loop, including this B wave that looked like it was going to be a wave up. So unfortunately, I did lose quite a bit of money on betting on the long side as we were going down. But that is the name of the game in trading. Oh. Looks like something is happening. Oh, cool. This is the first time that something is eventful is happening on the live stream. Although I guess it's not even, it's just at $50. That's nothing in Bitcoin. Anyway, the daily chart. Until 3,100 breaks, I wouldn't expect there to be any further downside than that. In fact, I would be very surprised if we got into the lower 3,000s in this correction. And I do also want to make the point that it is possible for there to be a WXYXZ correction. And this is just a WXY so far. So we could see another 3-wave move up from here, and then another 3-wave move down, perhaps deeper into support. But until we have a failed impulse here, this is not what I would expect. But of course, I will be calling that out if we get there. So I'll save this chart and let's move on to the 6-hour chart. So I'm tracking an impulse down right now off of the $10,000 high. I will show the wave just so you can see it. And we are right at the end of where we would normally expect to start dropping for the final 5th wave of this correction. Hence the title. Now, there is a potential for a bullish setup here, and that is marked in red. Now, I would say that the only reason that I do have this on here is because this move has this move that is either C of 4 or is 3 of 1. This move is larger than you would normally expect for a wave C. And that's the reason why I'm considering an impulse here. But it is not confirmed until we hold support above this green line here, 6,300, and then continue up and break past that 70-30 resistance. So again, I'm not bullish until we hold above 6,300 and then break resistance at 70-30. And even then, it's not confirmed that it's bullish. We still need to see hold support again in 3 waves and continue up. So that would be what is necessary for a bullish start. Until then, I do have to continue to look down, and you'll see these green lines indicate the levels in which I would expect this correction to, this leg of the correction at least, to come to a stop. And that is going to be the levels around 5,200, and then the next one after that is 4,900, and then 4,800 from the larger time frame, and then 4,500. At this point, that's why I said before that it is hard for me to imagine that unless we get that WXYXZ, where we have a 3-wave move up before dropping again, that I would not expect there to be a move into the 3,000s. So let's zoom in even further. Now, we've seen extremely choppy action for the past week. I, in fact, have not actually made any trades, or I haven't opened any trades. The only thing I've done was, so I caught this move up from here, caught this move up, and then went to a hedged position, and then once we broke above this high, stopped out of that hedged position. So I'm currently just holding my or stopped out of some of the hedges, but am still mostly hedged. And it is unclear to me if we need one more high in this ending diagonal. And that is why I have not made many trades, because ending diagonals are notoriously difficult to trade. So at first, it could have been this as the full ending diagonal. It also could have been this. And it can also be this. which is what I have it as right now, since the move off of the low has not been clearly impulsive. I am going to say that it is likely that we do in fact get one more high into around the 69.50 region. But again, this is not something that I'm going to be trading off of, or at least I'm not going to have it as a primary trade, because it is lower probability and it is possible that we could drop from here. And really the number that you want to be watching for the first sign of this is going to be that bottom of the second wave of the ending diagonal, and so that level is 6,400. So if 6,400 breaks, we get confirmation of this completed ending diagonal, and then if 6,300 breaks, we get confirmation, well, we get the start of a confirmation for going into this fifth wave, down into the 4,000s. So next, let's take a look at what's going on in volatility land. So for the past month, we have been extremely range bound between about 1.7 and 5. The squeeze of, note the squeeze of how tight together these exponential moving averages are. That's normally something that does not happen, and it has proven to be extremely good indication of support and resistance for this volatility. It had bounced off of, it has very clear bounces here, 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 there, and then once again it looks like we are now going into a more lower volatility environment, and then we would expect a bounce off of the lower Keltner channel and go straight into the higher Keltner channel for a volatility event. In last week, I had expected some sort of volatility event because we were so low, and we did get that. And then now again, it seems to like these weekly cycles. I am again expecting a drop in volatility and then some sort of event. And that coincides nicely with filling out the rest of the ending diagonal, low volatility, and then getting a larger move down for that fifth wave. Now I'll take a look at the futures, and it looks like, whoa, okay, not log scale. We have just moved into contango on BitMEX for the September futures, but only barely. And it looks like to be quite high volatility at the moment. Let's see. So we moved there yesterday's night. So that was with the larger move up we went into contango. And for those who do not quite remember what contango is, that means that we have that the futures traders expect the price of the future to be higher in the future than it is right now. So it's a bullish indicator, but is extremely close to zero right now. So there's unfortunately not that much information that we can glean from it. You can see that it occasionally gets really out of whack. So this was very largely in backwardation. So traders were expecting the future price of Bitcoin to be much smaller than it is right now. And before then, it was very largely in contango, where we were on a more bullish move. All right, that is all I have for Bitcoin. Do people have any questions about the Bitcoin price action specifically? After that, I wanted to review a few of the different altcoins that I've looked at. Just gonna scroll through some of these comments. What did I trade before crypto? Stocks, and I still do. You think a small or a big drop? On what time frame? And define small and big. Like I said, if we go back to the 6-hour chart, I would expect us to get into this region between 5,200 and 4,500. But yeah, I earlier in the live stream I had defined the parameters for what I would need to see if we were going to be bullish. So again, if we hold above 6,300 and then break 7,000 resistance, then it is possible that we have started an uptrend. But that's just a start. It obviously needs to hold above support and then keep going. But that will be the first indication. Is it not purely bullish? No, it is not purely bullish. I mean, if you zoom out, look at this bearish trend. It's a pretty well established bearish trend at this point. And there is not that much support below us. But I will reiterate again, there is the potential for this to confirm as bullish. Do you think that this can be a rising wedge? I am not a pattern trader, so I would not be the person to ask about that. It could be, I guess. I mean, so you think that it will not break resistance? At this point, no, I would not expect it to break resistance because of the larger pattern. But if it does break it, I am not going to fight it. And that is really the essence of trading and technical analysis, where you get levels from the chart where you have to force yourself to change your mind. And 7,030, excuse me, is going to be that level for me. Until we reach that and break it decisively, I am on the side of leaning downwards. Any other questions? Well, questions about Bitcoin. I'll get to more general questions later. What indicator is on the chart? There are actually no indicators on this chart right now. Just Fibonacci extension drawing. What about Binance? Okay, guys, please be more specific about your comment. I have no idea what this means. What about Binance? I have not mentioned any exchanges at all. I've just started using tensor charts. What do you think about those charts? If you know how to use an order flow chart correctly, it's a very powerful tool. Personally, I am not a scalper, so I do not use it. But yeah, I mean, I've seen other people use it with lots of success. It's order flow analysis is, yeah, very useful if you know how to use it. Like I said, I don't use it, so no. So no, I don't have a video on it. Why don't I like trading patterns? It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I like my method of analysis better. Yeah, it just has worked better for me. So it's not that I don't have anything against it. I know a lot of people who do use them and are extremely successful with them. So, but the problem with patterns is that a lot of people force them. I can't find an example. I'm not gonna be able to find an example on the fly, but uh, it's very easy to see things where things are not actually there. Some people say that Elliott wave charts are memes. So I've heard this criticism a lot, and it's because Elliott wave analysis is, well, first of all, it's actually a tool of analysis. It's not a tool of trading. And it was adapted for trading by some people who yeah, it was adapted for trading. It by itself, it isn't a tool for analysis of past history. And because of this, it has a very large set of ways that you can do things. And this results in people who don't actually know how to use Elliott wave analysis to try and do things, try and make charts that just don't play out. Because it seems like it could be something that is easy to do. It's like, oh, you just find the 5 waves, but in practice, it's really not that easy, and especially it's not that easy to trade. But in my opinion, I think it is extremely powerful. And there was another point I wanted to make. Oh, yes. You'll find that in cryptocurrencies in general, people are less experienced with technical analysis than in other markets. Because they are coming from, most people come into crypto not knowing other things about finance. And for that reason, you just see a lot of horrible Elliott wave analysis. Like, it's just unbelievably bad. And I'm not going to name names, but there are some people who definitely don't know what they're doing with it. It's actually a very, very strict method of analysis, and some people really like to play fast and loose with those rules when you really should not be. What is the purpose of Fibonacci? So Fibonacci is an integral part of Elliott wave analysis, in which there are very clear guidelines for the proportions of waves to the others, and you have to use Fibonacci analysis in conjunction with Elliott wave, or else you're not doing Elliott wave correctly. And that's not just my opinion, that's just a fact. You can't do it without it. What are my 3 main indicators? So like I had said, I don't really use indicators. I mainly try to use price action, but I do use indicators if I need something confirmed for me. So you can see the 4 that I use. On the top, I have the Bitfinex shorts and longs. I'm undecided about this. I think, yeah, I think it's just interesting to look at. I don't actually use this in my own trading, so I'm undecided if that's going to stay there. And on the bottom, I have the MACD. Like, MACD is, I like the MACD. It's most people I think use it. And the RSI. These are 2 extremely well-known indicators, and yeah, extremely powerful if you know how to use them. A lot of people use the RSI incorrectly. They say, oh, it's oversold. That means that I should buy. That's not how you use it. I could go on a very long tangent about that. Essentially, you want to be using this for divergences, not for Yeah, not for just the pure number. Same with the MACD. Some people think that the MACD is all about looking for the crosses. And I mean, while the crosses are important, it's not the only thing that you need to be looking at. And then the other two that I like to use are the OBV oscillator. So that's the on balance volume oscillator. I love this indicator. I think that well, we won't say that. I was gonna say that it would be the one indicator I would use if I only had to choose one. No, I would say that that's true. Love the OBV oscillator. And then the next is the double smooth stochastic, also known as the Brezert indicator. And I've just started to use this, but I like it a lot. I think it's an incredibly good tool for scalping specifically. But like I said, I don't do that much scalping, so I'm undecided if I'm going to keep using it. But so far I like it a lot. It's a lot has a lot less noise than the others. What software am I using? TradingView.com. When you say price action, what do you mean? Just looking at price action just means looking at the price. Yeah. So using support resistance, Fibonacci, those are really trading off of price action is the best way to go. I think I missed a question some way. Oh yeah, best way to learn to do Elliott Wave, ElliottWaveTrader.net is where I learned and I recommend. Top 3 altcoins. Enigma, Ravencoin, and those are definitely the top 2, Enigma and Ravencoin. Let's see. Third? I don't know. There's a lot that could be in the third. I like 0x a lot. Let's see what that's. 0x is really good. I like BitShares a lot. Chainlink is good. Yeah, but nothing really stands out as my favorite, as my third favorite. I like Loom a lot. Loom, so Loom, 0x, and Chainlink, Zcoin, Icon. Those are all potential third favorites. What do I think of Encash? I don't like Encash. I think that having a token was only used for the purpose of raising money, and that it makes the user experience worse. So I very much do not like Encash. But I will trade it, and I have traded it in the past, because crypto is in large part driven by sentiment. So if people think Encash has value, then the price will go up. So I've traded it in the past, but not on fundamentals, on technicals only. Are you a nephew of Charlie Lee? That's kind of racist, but my mother's maiden name was actually Lee, and my name is Charlie, so either it was racist or very insightful. I can't tell. No Neo? No Neo. Wow, that was a lot of questions. Thank you, guys. I'm sure there are other questions. Trying to stay on topic here, but I do not drink soda. Well, what you have to understand is that Lee is an extremely common Asian name, an Asian surname. What do I think of DTA? So I've not done an extensive study of DTA, but from what I've seen, I do like it. I do not hold any of it currently, but it is on my short list of things to look into further. What's the lowest time frame you'd look at? I've looked at the 1 minute charts before. You know, it really depends on the scenario. So I don't think there is a lowest time frame. Now, would I recommend that you trade exclusively off of the 1 minute time frame? No, I do not recommend that at all. The most common time frame I use is this one right here. It's the 90 minute and the 6 hour are the most common. And if I really need to dive in deeper, then the 30 minute. Why do you like Raven? They haven't even implemented their ascent functionality yet. They haven't implemented it yet. Look at your favorite projects. How many of them have implemented everything that they wanted to? Only Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the only one. And it hasn't even implemented everything. They still have, well, I guess technically the first layer has. Mostly. That's why cryptocurrencies are exciting, because you can define governance via code, and code is changeable. Where is the low resistance? I have no idea what that means. Do you mean support? Let's see. While I'm waiting for more questions, I was gonna pull up some charts. I also wanted the Loom chart. Yep, that's what it was. And yeah, I think that should be it. Oh, Ethereum too. Where's the support? This green line right here is the first one, 6,300. If that breaks, well, I guess 6,400, then 6,300, and then when we get there, I'll have to define new supports. But for right now, those are the ones that I'm watching. Raven coin, good price to buy. Honestly, right now is a good price to buy. That might be confirmation bias, since I did buy some just pretty recently. But I mean, yeah, I think it's a good project. Unfortunately, I don't have a chart for it because it's not on any major exchange that has TradingView charts. So my philosophy on those is to average in. Do you think Lightning Network will make Bitcoin Cash obsolete? I think that Lightning Network will make a lot of coins obsolete. Anything whose main value proposition is competing with Bitcoin and saying that it's faster or cheaper is going to be obsolete. So, for example, Nano. Formerly Ryblox. Nano is actually looking like something that I might buy soon, because it has gotten into the support levels that I really want to buy it at. If it gets into the $2 or below $2, I'm picking up some Nano. But this is trading purely off of technicals, because I do not think that it will be useful once Lightning Network is fully up and running. Well, not fully up and running, more if it's ubiquitous. Everyone's using it. I do not think there will be an advantage to using Nano. Are you into or researching Republic Protocol? if you go to our YouTube channel, you will see that a video on Republic Protocol is actually our most watched video. So you can look at that. But yes, I do like Republic Protocol very much. And they've had very active development as of recently, so I like that. Loom is a chart I am watching extremely carefully because it had a very strong reaction off of 12 cents and almost tripled after that and is now retracing. And it really needs to hold above 15 cents to stay bullish. But if it does, and it gets another strong reaction off of that, and then another retrace, then I'm going to be buying that as well. So Loom is one of the few coins that I'm looking at right now that I think will not make a lower low as Bitcoin goes down into its deeper supports. Do you have entry and exit points? For what? But yes. Bitcoin or Ethereum? Bitcoin. Just because I think that sound money is incredibly important. And Ethereum... Yeah, you can watch... Tone Vase has a good video that just came out on his podcast about the downfalls of smart contracts. Specifically focusing on Ethereum. And also considering how there's major competition for smart contract dominance, Ethereum's place as number 2 is questionable. Do you think Z Classic is a scam coin used for forking? Yes, but I will trade it. What do you think of Tezos? It's crazy. I would probably, if I was a holder, I'd be very jaded about it. But there's a very good Wired article that you should definitely all go read if you want to know more about Tezos and the story. In terms of what it means for crypto, it's not a good look. I was actually considering buying some Tezos because it had retraced so much and it had so much hype behind it that it's hard for me not to imagine it doing really well in a bullish market. But I had to stop myself because it was still going down. Maybe once it gets some more life into it, then I'll buy it. You'll buy your ZCL lottery ticket? Well, don't buy it just because I said I traded it. I don't own any right now. ADA and Litecoin. I was just looking at ADA. Let me look at it again. LTC. But ADA fundamentally, I think, is very interesting, except for their timeline. They're not expected to have full functionality until next year. And I think that will not be good for capturing network effects. EOS, Zilliqa, Ethereum, I mean, all those are going to have very large networks by that time. Oh, I guess I don't actually have anything for Litecoin. Yeah. Sorry, don't have anything for Litecoin right now. I guess I can try to do it on the fly. Oh, this looks like an ending diagonal, or leading diagonal for the first wave down. So no, I do not think Litecoin is a good buy right now, because you can see you have 5 waves here, and then this is part of a larger ABC. And then after your ABC, you have 5 waves down in the form of a leading diagonal. Also possible that this is 3 and that we have 4 and then working on 5 right now, but either way, it points down. Is this my work or a hobby? Why not both? I make money off of it, and I enjoy doing it, so... Oh, Ada. Sorry about that. So... Yeah, I remember this chart. Cardano is interesting because it has enough waves in its structure to be considered complete. And it has a non-overlapping move up off of its lows. And it is holding high support. So this could be another coin that, just like Loom, that does not see a lower low if Bitcoin goes lower. So if you are bullish on Cardano long term, it is a risky play to buy now. Ideally, you would wait until you see a clear 5 up to this larger degree first wave for further confirmation. But if you are not afraid to take a little bit more heat, then now is a not terrible time to buy. You might perhaps want to wait until you get confirmation from a smaller degree wave 1. And so that would mean completing an impulse here up to around 17 cents. Do you have a tutorial video on the features of TradingView? I do not, but I am sure that you can find... well, first of all, TradingView is extremely intuitive to use, like stunningly intuitive to use. And secondly, there's lots of tutorial videos on it. When you say a coin has completed the number of required waves, how many waves on average does it take to break out of a bearish market? So it's not a... There's not like a number that I can just give you. So right now, or always, markets move in largely 2 ways, in either a corrective 3-wave move or an impulsive 5-wave move. And they are fractals. So I will demonstrate right here. Cardano, because we're going to first assume that Cardano is not a coin that is going to die in the next year or so, which is not an assumption that you should make, but we're going to make that assumption here. Because we can assume that it is not going to go to 0, we would expect larger degree retraces to be in the form of 3 waves. So we have A, B, and then we would expect a C down. In fact, I would perhaps think that is completed. And then within these, an A wave can be either 5 or 3 waves. In this case, it looks like it's 3 waves. And then again, because they're fractals. Within this A wave, you would also see either 3 or 5. This also looks like it's 3. And then within that, it also looks like 3 as well. But then in your C wave, you would expect to see 5 waves. So we are looking for 5 waves in this C wave. So we have a wave 1 here. Oh, oops. And then I would say that we have a 3rd wave there, and then a 5th wave down here. And then subdividing these are always 5 as well, so you can count 5 within here. You can also get 5 within here. You can get 5 down here as well. Oh, oops. Wrong one. And on and on and on. You can see 5 waves there as well. And then you see 5 down here. And on and on. So that's why I would say that this is possible that it is completed pattern. Whereas in something like Bitcoin, I have this chart open already. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, I did have it open. Whereas on something like Bitcoin, it does not look like we have 5 waves down. So you'd be it's possible that you can find a leading diagonal here where it's moving in 3 waves. So let me change the color. Where you have this as your wave 1, 2, and I don't like this because frequently if it's moving in 3, you get a deep retrace. So already this is a red flag to me. And then you would have this 3rd wave, which is another red flag because 1, it is not symmetrical inside of this, and 2, because it is asymmetrical from the 1, 2 to the 3. And then you'd have an extended 5th here. Extended 5th does not bother me at all. But what does bother me is all the other things that I'd mentioned before. So it is possible that this is a ending diagonal, and I would actually have to count it this way if we see a bullish setup from here. But this is why I do not think that the bullish setup is correct, because of the mistake of the asymmetries here. And I know that this sounds like a lot of magic, and it is. It kind of is magic, and it's really something that you have to start using before you can actually believe that it works. Because when the first person who told me about it did, I was completely skeptical. I did not think that this could possibly work. And then I started using it, and it started to work. So yeah, I learned on elliottwavetrader.net. I don't have any affiliation with them other than the fact that I'm a member. Very happy member, in fact. Thoughts on Electronium? Lightning Network will destroy it. Are there other questions? They have tutorials. Yes, they have tutorials. And yes, I am going to release a video on how I specifically like to use Elliott Wave in the future. You can use waves to predict the end of a bearish market. Do waves also work upwards in bullish markets? Yes. If you just think about what a fractal is for a second, they are patterns that repeat each other over and over and inside each other. So they should theoretically work on any time frame. And there is a extremely long-term count of, say, the Dow Jones and the stock market in general. And you can also use it on the 1 minute chart. Now, out in Bitcoin, it doesn't work great on the 1 minute chart because there's such high variation in volume. So if we had a tick chart, it might work better for that, but we do not. So any good under 1 cent coins on Binance? I don't know why you want a 1 cent coin. First of all, but no, I don't know off the top of my head which coins are under 1 cent. Have you looked at UFR? You know, it sounds familiar. Upfiring. I definitely have. Extremely low cap. Yeah, 2.3 million. So, small cap coin or 1 cent coins, they do pump really hard, but they also dump really hard too. Until we're in a bull market, I'm not going to be looking at I'm not going to be looking for coins that are based off of things like that. Upfiring, yeah. So the problem with upfiring is that if you look at some of these volumes, the top exchange has $1,000 of volume in the past 24 hours. So you're going to be moving the price even if you buy like $100 worth of it. So that's really just not practical to buy. Dang. It's got up to $2.63 and now it's at 13 cents. Dang. I hope no one bought it then. 95% retrace. That's something. When is my next questions video? I do these every single week at 7 o'clock Eastern time, so you can be ready then. You have been holding since 2-6? Jeez. Oh, joking? God, I hope so. Man. Let's see if I got any questions on Twitter. Dang, I lost 10 followers? Jeez. Nope. Looks like there's no questions on Twitter. So if you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And so I will do the outro while I'm waiting for more. Thank you everybody for watching this video. If you want to join me next week. I do these every single Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Before then, if you want to catch up with us, you can go to our Telegram channel, t.me/altcoinmentors. And if you want to get all of the material that I've just presented in your email inbox, along with other emails throughout the week, you can go to altcoinmentors.com/strategy, and you will get the strategy notes delivered every Sunday morning. And if you want to check out our YouTube videos, I think most of you are watching on YouTube, just click on that channel, hit the subscribe button, and videos will be delivered to you every time we post them. And you can also follow me on Twitter. My handle is IamCharlieU. You can also follow the account that both my father and I post on. He has been a trader for over 20 years and is right now doing an excellent job of creating videos specifically on the mental side of trading psychology, and is just going to be starting to diving into technical analysis this week. So if you want to make sure you get those, you can follow him at altcoin_mentors on Twitter. But of course, we'll also be posting those to our email list and Telegram channel. Let's see the questions that dripped in. What are your predictions for the market in the future? Well, the first 20 minutes of this video were dedicated to just that. So if you go back and watch that, you'll find out. Next 48 hours in Bitcoin. I also did that in the first 20 minutes, but to quickly summarize, I am expecting sideways action for the next 48 hours, sideways to up. And that's based off of the volatility chart, so don't trade off of that. It's not exactly high probability. And then afterwards, I am expecting a drop down into the 4,000s. But there is a chance that Bitcoin can prove itself to be more bullish. And to get that, we would need to see a hold of support above 6,300 and then a break of resistance at 7,050. If we can get that, then it will be a very nice start to entering a bullish market again. Where's the volatility chart? I went over it early in this video. If you search BVol on TradingView, you can take a look at that. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and follow us on Telegram, t.me/altcoinmentors. See you guys later.